Janetto, I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share if you can, and please try to watch the video all the way through so that it gets as much push out into YouTube land from the algorithm as possible. So today I'm going to share a yarn haul with you, but also a little trip that I went on. So if you are new to my channel, I recently went to the UK for a house sitting job, and I met up with one of my absolute favorite yarny people, my yarny bestie Sam over at Vampus Makes. She does not live close to where I was staying, but we did agree to meet in the middle because I was not driving, I was traveling by train, and she of course has a car, so she was driving, and we met in Bath, which in and of itself, there are so many things that I could have explored in that city, but I did not have rolled enough in time. I had a weekend, and I did get there early on a Friday. Well, not early, but I got there earlier than Sam on a Friday. So my daughter and I were able to do a few sightseeing things before Sam got there. And then we spent the rest of the time just hanging out, which was what we intended, right? Because it's so rare that we actually get to even do a chat. Like, we'll message each other here and there, but we both have really, really busy lives. We both have children. We both have full-time jobs. We both have other things that take up a lot of our time. Now, is it always things that we want to do? No, but sometimes needs must, right? And so the fact that we were able to carve out this time together was absolutely wonderful. And one of the things that we did on the Saturday that we had, that was the one day that we had a whole full day together, is we walked around the city of Bath, but we were looking for yarn shops. Now, I had done the research ahead of time to find out that there were 2 yarn shops in the city of Bath, and we decided that we were going to do our best to try to get to both of them. And we woke up Saturday morning, we went and had breakfast, and then we took off on foot to this yarn shop. It wasn't that far from where we had parked, but parking in and of itself was an adventure, because there's a limit to the amount of time you can park on certain streets, and I didn't know that. Sam didn't know that. So it was a whole adventure once we finished at that yarn shop trying to go to the next one. So anyway, I'm not going to put pictures in the video. I have pictures on my phone because last time I tried to put pictures in the video, I covered up one of the yarns I was trying to show you. I thought I had timed it right, but I didn't. So I'm just going to show them to you on my phone. We were walking around and we came across some cool things. I am a proper tourist when I go places. I want to take pictures. I want to do all the things, right? So this was the place that we had breakfast. It was called Adventure Cafe Bar. And I had a lovely cappuccino and a breakfast burrito. Let's see. There we go. And as we were walking, I marvel at the fact that people who live in places like England and Italy, especially in some of like the towns, they get to live in some of these old places. Like, they have so much character and history and all of that, because so many things in the United States are modern and they're harsh lines, and they just some of it's really lovely, don't get me wrong, but so much of it is just new everywhere that you don't get to have that historical feel. You don't get to have that lived in understanding of a town, right? And I know that people who live in those kinds of places are like, it's crumbling and it's falling down and it's this and it's that and it's so much work, and I know that and I get it, but to be able to walk and see, sorry, I was trying to pull it up, see just a street like this, like look at that. That's just a random street. I don't even know what the street's called, but it is stunning. It is beautiful to me. And then we came across an old fountain that was there. It was just walking. We were just walking down the sidewalk, and there it was. And it was a religious, like this was, there used to be like holy water or something in there. And then we found this place called Lady Mead House. It was really lovely. You couldn't go in, but it was neat. And then we got to the shop, and it was called A Yarn Story. Right? And I did ask if it was okay for me to take pictures, and she said it was fine. This is the shop. There's a little bit more on the sides. Now this is all hand-dyed hanks, all, no, make it a little bigger. So this is all hand-dyed hanks. You can see all that there. It's lots of color, lots of beauty, all of that. But there's just, it's a small shop, and I'm not knocking it at all. Please understand that I'm not knocking it at all. But it was a very niche kind of shop, right? So you could tell that it was mainly designed for knitters. It was mainly designed for high-end yarns, and that's fine, right? There's nothing against that at all. It's just when you go in there, hold on just a second. Okay, sorry. There wasn't a lot of variety, but to be fair, a lot of places like that, you don't have room for big stores, so there's not room to have a ton of variety. And there was a downstairs, like there were stairs. Let me rephrase. There were stairs, but there wasn't anything downstairs as far as the shop was concerned. Because I did ask, I was like, "Is there anything downstairs?" And she said, "No, this is it." I said, "Okay." And she was a really nice person. She was definitely knowledgeable, but again, you could tell that it was definitely a knitter shop, right? When we mentioned crochet, she didn't say anything, but like her face kind of was like, "Oh," you know, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well." But she did cake up some yarn for Sam, which Sam has shown in a video already. And I'm going to show you what I purchased, because again, I don't have it with me, but when I got back to Sicily, I did lay everything out and take pictures just so that you could see the yarns that I purchased. So this is the yarn. These are absolutely stunning together. There are so many colors in like the purple. I'm trying to get the glare off and let it focus. There we go. And that is really more of, it's not as orangey as it's showing up. I mean, it is orange, but it's a little more brown orange, if that makes sense. So the the yarn is called Townhouse Yarns, and they're both a Drury that DK, so they're all DK weight, and this color here is called Single Malt, and then this color is called Varia or Varia, Varia. Again, I have to let it focus. Yeah. And it has really, really pretty purples in it. And it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It's 212 meters, 100 grams, hand washed, cold, dry, flat, hand dyed in Ireland. So one of the things that we asked when we were in the shop is if there were any local yarns, and she said no. But I did find, like I said, I did find this one. I'm trying to show you some of the variation in the Varia colorway. And there are, like down here, I don't know that you can see it, right here, there is this color. That's why I picked that color. So I got 3 of the Varia or Varia, and then 2 of the single malt. And my goal is to make a sweater with them. I think not a sweater as in a long sleeve sweater, because I don't really like long sleeves, but like a t-shirt kind of sweater, because it doesn't get super cold in Sicily either, but that cashmere nylon merino blend will be a really nice top. I don't have quite enough to make a cardigan because I like my cardigans to be a little long, although with the nylon it would make a nice cardigan for a stretch. And I did not have her cake mine up because I knew that I was going to be coming to the States for my son's surgery, so I didn't want them to just sit in my house and wait for me to get back all caked up and get all stretched out and so forth. So it was a lovely small shop that we got to visit together. We spent probably 30-ish minutes between getting there, looking around, deciding, and then waiting for her to cake up Sam's yarn, which my yarn is very me, and Sam's yarn is very, very Sam. So I urge you to go check out Sam's video on her yarn purchase because it is very different from mine. And I can appreciate her choices because they speak to her and my choices speak to me. So like I said, I'm getting them ready for making a shirt of some sort. I don't know which one I want to make. I have the Summer Breeze raglan that I've made before. I really, really love that top. I love the way that it works up. I love the way that it's closed enough where you don't need a tank top underneath it, but it's also, the stitch isn't so dense that you feel that it's too heavy on your body. So I might just do that one again just because I enjoy it, or I might find something else, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about in the moment. So I hope that you enjoyed this little yarn haul video, and I will put the picture of the yarn on my posts after this video goes up so that you can see it, if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger and look at all of the colors, the variation of the colors in the Varia yarn. It is really, really stunning, and I wish that I had it to hand to show you, but I don't, unfortunately. So with that, I will leave you. As always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!